Hello, dear friends. It is Dr. Sarah. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to share with you some mind, body, heart-based research tools that can be combined with essential oils to help maintain a higher vibration of holistic health and to maintain your physical, emotional, and spiritual equilibrium right now during these turbulent times. Many people are struggling with all that's been going on. They're finding it hard to maintain an inner stillness related to all of the things that we are up against today, including attention grabbing headlines of negative news, controversies over current events, a rise in the concern of social media risks, broadcasts of global disruption and unrest, political divisions, technological and artificial intelligence advancements and concerns, and health and financial worries. So, as a result, children and adults are facing more unprecedented challenges than they were in previous years. And I know every generation says this, but I think, as noted with all of the things that I said we're up against, it really is true for our generation and the times we're living in today. And what is concerning is that unless we make a concerted effort to actually shut out all of these distractions or effectively deal with the negative consequences, we aren't going to get relief from them. And if they're not appropriately addressed, all of these stressors and things that are coming at us, they can have some negative emotional, mental, and physical health ramifications. So, what I wanted to do is to share with you some simple and effective holistic solutions so that you could effectively cope with all that's being thrown at you. So, in this video, we're going to discuss more about this information about the link between this global turbulence and its negative impact on our nation's mental health and well being. I'm going to introduce you to a special care research-based focus technique through the HeartMath Institute, and it can help you maintain your higher vibration and assist with not only calming your own mind and body down, but actually helping spread the healing emotions of love and hope to others during these times of adversity. Then we're going to talk briefly about how essential oils can aid our mental health and support our goal to live a life more on purpose and from a positive perspective. And then finally, I'm going to explore with you a specific essential oil blend that I use in my practice and for myself that can ignite feelings of joy and self-love and just kind of calm the whole nervous system down. So, as always, all the references to studies, to the research, and all of the resources will be available in the accompanying blog to this video. So, make sure you follow the link if you're on my YouTube channel or on my social media so you can have that for you so that you can practice these techniques. So, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I think it's important to understand the impact that we're up against. I talked about it a little bit briefly, but there is recent data to support that all Americans are facing this mental health crisis, especially our youth. John Hopkins actually just released a survey that showed that 1 in 10 Americans actually have had a mental health crisis in the recent times. And crisis was defined as a time when one's thoughts, feelings, or behaviors were too much to handle and they required prompt assistance. So basically, they couldn't carry out the activities of daily living. And because the development of our children's brains are still occurring, kids are at an even higher risk of experiencing the harmful consequences of all the stress that we're up against compared to adults. In fact, compiled data that is within the last 30 days when they took the survey from this year is that 1 in 3 US high school students stated that their mental health was not good a majority of their time. And 1 in 5 adults are actually suffering from depression. So it's a high percentage of people that are affected. And this was occurring even prior to the pandemic. The numbers of those with psychiatric disorders were on the rise, and now it seems to be there's no relief in sight. According to MSN, in 2025, stress levels in the US were at an all-time high. There was election chaos, rising global costs, health concerns, work pressures, relationship demands. And with that, 40% of Americans reported experiencing peak stress. And they stated that a rapidly changing world is making it harder than ever to find our balance. And I think many of you probably agree. So, with all of that's happening in the rise in psychiatric disorders, it is evident that we need a better approach to mental health care and how to cope with all that's going on. And that's why I'm introducing all of these supportive mind body practices and why I am such a fan of essential oils. Now, these tools aren't to replace conventional psychiatric care, but to offer a holistic perspective and personalized treatment that is missing in mainstream medicine because we aren't getting better results. In fact, it's getting worse, and we're up against so much. So, all of this political and societal turbulence, it is hard to maintain a proper perspective, a positive perspective, and it might seem almost impossible. And it's actually important to come back to a sense of calm and inner equilibrium so that we aren't just reacting to everything around us. We can make some wise decisions and we can reach a little bit deeper into how we do that because we aren't going to obtain that just by getting either medication or manipulating our biochemistry even naturally. We actually need skills on how to come back into our center. So, what this means is that we actually have to actively refuse to give into the vitriol, into the divisions that exist in our world, and actually turn our attention to something bigger and greater. And that means embracing the fundamental heart qualities of things such as care, kindness, compassion, and patience. Now, there's scientific evidence that doing this will support our well-being, and that's through the HeartMath Institute, where they provide us with heart coherent techniques to help us reconnect to our true selves and back to each other, because we need each other, right? Relationships are one of the key factors for well-being and even physical health. They have research-based practices, and their mission at HeartMath Institute is global transformation back to the heart, which is a pretty cool mission, in my opinion. They emphasize the importance of emotions, relationships, and coherence for physiological and neurological support for our heart and overall well-being. So coherence is when the mind and the body are in a state of equilibrium and calm. Their website states that their HeartMath Institute researchers look at the relationship again for managing stress and increasing coherence and deepening our connection to self and others. They explore the electrophysiology of intuition and how our things are interconnected. So they actually have done scientific research on our own intuition and how we behave actually affects other living beings. And since 1991, HeartMath Institute has researched and developed reliable, scientifically validated tools and technologies that help people improve their emotional balance, health, and performance. And they are actually conducting intriguing research on how the heart's magnetic field radiates outside of the body and can affect other people. So pretty cool studies. Recently, I did receive an email from the HeartMath Institute, or HMI, which is spurring this whole video for you guys. And it invited us to participate in an intended pause and stillness every Wednesday in October and November. So if you're listening to this or watching this in real time when it's released, it's already the end of October, but there's still a month to actually participate. And I really would like to help spread this message to add a positive transformation for ourselves and our planet at this time. And so rather than practicing getting agitated and diving deep into kind of doom scrolling, we could actually all take a collective pause and sustain a higher frequency of love. And this will help us practice more genuine positive qualities. And by doing this, we'll be able to have better access to neutralize judgments towards ourselves and others, engage in compassionate listening, which is often not happening today, as opposed to reactive responses, and forgiving past situations that continue to drain our energy from our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. There's actually this special care focus that you can do every Wednesday. And what it basically boils down to is 5 different steps from the HeartMath Institute, and I have the excerpt on my website. But you start off by focusing and centering yourself with your heart and your breath. and you're actually for a few minutes breathing in love and appreciation. And then the second thing you do is you bring in a higher principle and dignity, where you imagine like your breath is bringing that in to lift your heart vibration and help release old stress generated energy. So you're kind of doing the self cleansing process with your heart. And then once that's done, you radiate unconditional love, kindness, and compassion and stillness. And this is done for like a minute or two. And then while maintaining your inner calmness, you ask your heart for guidance or solutions or deeper understanding regarding any issue or challenge that you are experiencing. So you're going to come at this, anything that's bothering you at this place of peace, stillness, love, and compassion versus at this reactivity. And then once that is done, this is where kind of the collective comes in, and you try to radiate love, kindness, and compassion to the whole planet while seeing everybody getting along with each other, and also sending compassion for people who are suffering from war, displacement, famine, natural disasters, or other global stressors, and just kind of picturing this energy going outward. And many of HeartMath Institute's research actually shows that this does make a difference in how people react and respond to life and actually the healing of the planet. So I hope that we can all seek to help heal each other and be even by helping to calm our own inner state and to send out these positive vibrations, we will actually help heal the planet and also help heal the divisions and help us come together to help us with all this stress. And when we do that, we'll be able to have better solutions. There's an ancient proverb that says, "No tree has branches so foolish as to fight among ourselves." And unfortunately, humans do fight among themselves. And by that, they actually end up hurting themselves and other people and tearing down the whole tree. So that is the special care focus. And again, HeartMath Institute is asking that everybody participate on Wednesdays through October and November, but you could really do this throughout whenever you need it. Just getting back into your heart center and coming at all of your situations that are troubling you from this space of calmness and compassion. Now, you can actually use essential oils to help with this process, because during the times of stress, you actually have biochemical cascades that occur, and your body is in this fight or flight or survival mode. And this makes it hard to focus on higher goals and think beyond your own selfish needs. And with an instantaneous smell, right, you can actually shift that emotion, so you can biochemically help yourself get into that space with essential oils. Now, essential oils help relieve stress and induce relaxation through regulating our hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which is a signaling cascade for our hormones. Also buffer stress at the level of perception. They help balance hormones, lower cortisol, and stimulate the vagus nerve. So if we incorporate essential oils, it can enhance the effect of the special care focus, as I mentioned, and create this memory-based association, so that when we smell the oil as we're doing the practice, when we smell it again, it actually reminds our nervous system to be in that same state of calm. So they can be actually used for any support for any mental health issue at this time, essential oils. And that's why I've been kind of shouting from the rooftops about their benefits, because they're a quick, easy, accessible tool, and they're going to work even if you don't have these fancy techniques to use with them at the same time. They're going to calm the mind and the body. Two of my favorite oils specifically for calming the mind and the body and generating kind of self-love or compassion for other people is just the single oil ylang ylang, as well as this joyful blend. And the joyful blend includes bergamot oil, which helps to wipe away anxiety and supports the mind body. It actually contains ylang ylang flower, which actually balances the cardiovascular and nervous system. It contains rose geranium for hormonal and mood balancing properties. Lemon peel oil, which has a refreshing scent and it's invigorating to the senses. Coriander seed, which can be digestive support and enhancing a positive mind-gut connection. Tangerine is good for promoting happiness and focus. Jasmine oil for balancing the brain's electrophysiology. They've done some studies with that, and it helps calm stress. Roman chamomile is another calming essential oil for the mind and body. Pomarosa is good for enhancing overall wellness. And then rose flower oil is good to inspire romance, connection, joy, and healthy hormones. So what you can do is you can diffuse these oils or blend them or apply them topically diluted on your perfume point so that you can smell them. If you do a carrier oil, the scent will last longer and it's also better for your skin sensitivity. You can also inhale them directly from the bottle throughout the day. Some clinical aromatherapist recommends actually inhaling it through the cap so that you don't contaminate the actual essential oil lid. But I find I myself kind of take the shortcut and I get more of a pleasant scent if I just keep it below my nose and kind of rotate it and smell. So I hope that you found this helpful. If we summarize kind of what we covered in this video is that Americans and even the whole planet is experiencing more turbulent stress and mental health issues because there's so much going on in the world, events today, and with all that we're being thrown at, back in the days we didn't have access to so much stuff coming at us all the time. And we can use integrative tools that help mediate our stress, support mental resiliency, and enhance heart coherence to shift our mindset and emotional state to a more positive and higher vibration. We talked about the HeartMath Institute and the special care focus going on through the fall that we can participate in every Wednesday to sustain a higher frequency of love for better well-being, emotional balance, effective reactions in relationships, and enhanced interactions with other people in our planet. Now, we talked also about how essential oils can complement these holistic tools based on their ability to modulate mental health and stress through different mechanisms. They can also be used as a tool to enhance memory-based scent association. So whenever we smell an essential oil and we're in a state of calmness, we can use that same smell to bring our nervous system back to that state of calmness. And also we can use synergistic essential oil blends just on their own to help us enhance joy, such as that joyful blend I went through, and just some single oils like ylang ylang, where we can balance our biochemical, physiological, and psychological responses that can be thrown off kilter in today's trying times. So I would love to hear from you on what you think of this. This is kind of a different spin than some of my hardcore biochemical posts or my mind-body posts. It's kind of at even a higher, more electrophysiology, quantum physics level here, but I hope that you appreciate it. And I do have the link to all of HeartMath Institute's research, so you can look at that and see some of the scientific studies on how when we take time to center ourselves, we actually can help heal other people and get them calm as well. And that can help our world and our planet. And it all starts with us, guys. So thank you for listening. If you like what you have heard here, please be sure to check out some of my other videos and also subscribe to my YouTube channel or to my newsletter. If you subscribe to my newsletter, there's additional things that I send out that aren't available even on my social media or on my YouTube channels. So you'll get some extra stuff there on essential oils and holistic and naturopathic and functional medicine that you won't get just kind of in the public view. So I hope you do subscribe, and I would love to hear from you and comment and see if you participated and how you felt after.